I'm going to talk about Mahmoud
Welcome
Khalil
back right now.
because we need some good news.
The release of Mahmoud Khalil, the Columbia University grad student and Palestinian activist, arrested by ICE more than 3 months ago. A judge today ordered Khalil to be freed on bail. He had been held in a detention facility in Louisiana, away from his wife and away from his newborn son. He's also been the subject of an intense debate over the power of the Trump administration to hold.
This is the most up-to-date information on Mahmoud, straight from his legal team. I am looking to do a sit-down with him when I am out in New York. Update. Magistrate Judge in New Jersey says a telephone conference will be held at 3:30 p.m. to address the release terms, including the manner and logistics by which Mahmoud Khalil will surrender his passport and any other travel documents to the government as a precondition of release. The district court has ordered Khalil to be released today. Dr. Noor Abdallah, Mahmoud Khalil's wife, reacts to the court ordering Khalil's release. After more than 3 months, we can finally breathe a sigh of relief and know that Mahmoud is on his way home to me and Dean, who never should have been separated from his father. She adds, we know this ruling does not begin to address the injustices of the Trump administration has brought upon our family and so many others the government is trying to silence for speaking out against Israel's ongoing genocide against the Palestinians. But today we are celebrating Mahmoud coming back to New York to be reunited with our little family and the community that has supported us since the day he was unjustly taken for speaking out for Palestinian freedom. Latest update is that the court orders that Mahmoud Khalil's travel be restricted to New York and Michigan, as well as New Jersey and Louisiana for court appearances and attorney visits only, and Washington, D.C. for lobbying, legislative purposes only. Khalil will not be allowed to travel within the United States beyond these states and cannot travel internationally either. Yeah, because the judge has never been wrong when they said someone isn't a threat to the community. Do you think Mahmoud Khalil is a threat to the community? What is he going to do? Speak out against Israel's genocide more? Because that was the reason why he was detained unjustly. Oh no. What if he says Israel's doing a genocide, which is an overwhelming majority position in most of the planet? A position he should have never been prosecuted over at all. A grave injustice has been committed towards Mahmoud Khalil and his entire family. The idea that he should have ever seen the inside of a prison is spectacularly cruel, and only a dumb that does not even understand how this kind of dangerous precedent could potentially harm them in the long run would ever entertain such a ridiculous act of aggression against someone who is just simply speaking the truth. When I see stuff like this, for the record, when I see people say stuff like this, I don't get mad. And I don't think you should either. I mean, when it becomes overwhelming, it like really frustrates me. But when someone reaches a certain point of fervor, it's very obvious that they're doing that because of a severe insecurity. Only incredibly weak people look to an incredible encroachment upon all American civil liberties and says that's good and we want more of that. The only reason why they get this angry is because they are repulsive to those in their immediate vicinity and incredibly angry all the time. Everyone around them resents them, so they think, oh, well, as long as this government is doing this kind of awful to people that I have perceived as my enemies, that I'm too stupid to recognize are simply just my neighbors, do I feel a crumb of power? Not recognizing that the government that does that to Mahmoud Khalil on ridiculous grounds, simply an exercise of the First Amendment, will inevitably do that to you as well. I agree with you about Israel and Gaza, but judges are wrong a lot of the time. Do you think the judges are wrong in this case? Otherwise, why did you actually take issue with this release? I take issue with the judges being wrong in even letting him see the inside of a cell for even a fraction of a moment, not with his release. You chose this, I guess, inopportune moment to talk about, you know, injustice taking place within the criminal justice system, I suspect. Or maybe you're too much of a coward to say it with your frame drop.
Immigration crackdown, which targeted pro-Palestinian protesters on U.S. university campuses. And since that push, which started 3 months ago, many of the students have actually been released, all of them except Khalil. In the meantime, he has missed his graduation, the birth of his son, and he's been kept away from his families and his attorneys. Now, 2 weeks ago, the judge in this case said that he was going to order Khalil's release, but the government appealed that decision, saying that there was an outstanding charge accusing Khalil of lying on his green card application, something that his lawyers have denied. Now, his lawyers renewed their request for the court to issue bail, and that's exactly what happened here today. Khalil will be released. He said that the outstanding matter is a civil matter in immigration courts, certainly not a criminal matter. And we are expecting to hear some detail about the conditions for his release, including the surrender of his passport and travel conditions. Here's what his wife, Dr. Noor Abdallah, said upon learning about his release. Quote, "We know this ruling does not begin to address the injustices the Trump administration has brought upon our family and so many others."
Republicans complain about the fantastical Democratic president arresting people for thought crimes. And when their guy actually unironically does that for a foreign state, he didn't even say anything against America, which still would be unacceptable, while simultaneously going, "Shalom, Mahmoud. This is what you get for speaking out against Israel." And these dumb in unison try to find ways of defending this insane encroachment on civil liberties. One of the most consequential, one of the most important protections that the Constitution affords all of us unconditionally, citizen and non-citizen alike. This is an actual violation of the First Amendment, not like video game titties or, I don't know, whatever you perceive as a severe injustice, like a black female protagonist in your favorite video game. This is it. I would say that online, this kind of sentiment is fairly broad, like broadly represented, overrepresented. I don't think in the real world there's this much support for deporting people.
The Trump administration was trying to use this antiquated statute that was little used historically to justify detaining and deporting Mahmoud Khalil and others because they were ostensibly a threat to our foreign policy by virtue of lawful political expression. And the judge unequivocally rejected the government's claim and said that holding him on these grounds was unconstitutional. So today's ruling, last week's ruling and today's ruling combined are a vindication of Khalil's rights. They're a vindication of the First Amendment and our democracy, but the case is not over. We still have to get all the charges dismissed, dumped. These are trumped up charges, literally, figuratively, and we need to make sure that the Trump administration gets the message, and they should with today's ruling, that you cannot deport people based on lawful political expression. You cannot retaliate against people for exercising First Amendment rights, whether they're citizens or not.
I wanted to ask you about kind of what happens.
Wait, I'm confused. My favorite political commentator who lives in a mountain of piss and told me that non-citizens don't get this kind of protection and that legal permanent residents should be deported for saying things that I personally don't like. I'm so confused. What is your academic pedigree, lady? Is what I would say if I was the dumbest person on the planet, okay? I'm not. I'm the second dumbest person on the planet.
Next, because it was striking, the judge today saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, but based on what he had seen, there's at least something to the underlying claim that has been made in his defense, that this was all about.
Yeah, where's Moldman now? Where the is he now? I thought he was certain that this was based.
Mr. Khalil will be free. He'll be with his community. He'll be with his wife, his new baby, and he will not be subjected to additional irreparable harm as a result of Trump's retaliatory campaign to make him a symbol and to deport him. So the case will go on, and we're hopeful that we will be successful. We're confident because he is right. He has every right to be here. He's a lawful permanent resident. He's got a green card, and he has done nothing wrong to justify the treatment.
We will certainly be watching every step of the way. Donna Lieberman, New York ACLU, thank you so much.
Thank you.
ACLU, actual communist lawyer union, probably, right? Clearly not an institution tasked with defending civil liberties or anything like that. Classic. Of course they would be saying such things, saying such silly things.